Hello friends, Running Kimono here. So in today's video, we are talking about Dollar General remodels again. So this has been the summer of remodels where I live. I think like every store is in a state of a remodel, which is really odd. I know like Northern Michigan, Northern Ohio, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, so many. To kind of make this video a little bit easier on me, I made a video 2 months back where I was shopping another remodel and I go through the steps on how to find one where you live. I think a lot of them are happening, especially if you live rural. So I will link this video at the end. It has so much info on the like, how do I find this? How do I participate? And the telltale sign is if you start seeing a lot of these 70 stickers and at this one location things are a little bit different price than other locations. Like that's your telltale sign. And then from when these stickers first appeared, along with the shipping container, you can ask a staff or manager, when is the remodel happening? Are you still going to be open during it? Because there's two different types of remodels, a full one where they close the store down for 5 days. The other one, they stay open, and there's a whole bunch of employees like putting in new shelving units, which is also interesting. Some of them are calling them a remodel, others are called a refresh, and we're having both in this area. Now, the most interesting part of all of this is at some of these remodels, 2 weeks before it actually happens, they make the food 70% off. So a lot of this very cheap. Now with the clearance event, it was an additional, I think 50, so it was 85% off. So this cookie dough was like 59 cents with the dollar off 2 digital coupon, 9 cents per bag. I mean, that is like I was just like laughing all the way to the bank. Now the best thing to do, I'm not going to give you UPCs and pictures of every little thing, but just to type in like bacon, if you're starting to see these weird goofy 70s, every Monday I would look for bacon, ice cream, cheese, just some different treats and stuff. But like some of these prices, very extreme. They're going to be a different cost. If there's no clearance event, it'll just be like a $10 item at 70% off would be $3. But with the clearance event, it was an additional 50% off of that. So the store I went to, you know what? I rolled in there at like 10, 11 o'clock and there was nobody there and I got like everything I wanted. Now, my best friend who lives 2 hours away went to a different remodeled store and looked for the food items 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. And she told me that there was like 10 cars there and it was just like supermarket sweeps in the frozen food section. Every shopper got a cart full of stuff. There was so much at that store, but it was a different vibe. I live super rural, so like it was myself and another old guy, and he was looking at the at like those kids' breakfast, whatever they are, Lunchables. He got like 18 of them, and then I got like this. Typically with food, it'll go very quickly. So for 2 weeks, it's discounted at 70% off. And it does not penny out, but they usually like clean out the freezers. I think they probably put in new freezers at some of these stores. But it's 2 weeks before they officially remodel, and I had no idea, but I got in on this last Monday, and it was pretty exciting. Okay, so let's get back to the subject at hand, which is the last couple of weeks, every Sunday, there was a remodel, and even if I showed up at like later, like 2, 3 o'clock, I was still finding carts and carts of stuff, which is like exciting and great. And a lot of this stuff, you know, after you get it the first time, you don't want to have like 600 items so you have a party city in your basement. But to stock up for the next couple years on party supplies, that's exactly what I want for a penny, because that's the best price. Some of these stores that have refreshes, if it's the manager that's in there and they're not closing the front doors and they're staying open during the refresh, they don't remove a lot of the stuff at 70. So then that Sunday that it remodels, a lot of the stuff is actually a penny. Again, there's so many details in the video that I made 2 months ago. I'll link it at the very end because this is altogether very confusing. And where it gets even more confusing is that store 1 compared to store 2, like 30 minutes away from me, the merchandise is always different at the 2 different stores. So that's where it gets confusing. But if you have a general idea of like Party, Baked with Love, As Seen on TV, some of the paper stuff, you'll be able to score really big. But you have to know, and if you scout your store for those 70 stickers, you'll probably have an idea what's going to be pennying out. One item I found very few of was the As Seen on TV. I did find 3 cans of this Flex Seal on a sky shelf in the automotive area. Always a good place to look because they have to remove it all off the shelves. But for whatever reason, that was there. This is probably the best find. These Dixie plates, 154 counts. A penny for that. That's absolutely crazy. Now, if your store, you're scanning this in the app and it's $9.99, obviously your store is not going through a remodel. But if it's 0.00, whenever they restock this, this is probably the one item you'll find and you'll be like, oh my gosh. Now, one item I was getting when it was 70% off with coupons, because the Always Discreet and all these other products had such high value coupons, was the feminine care. If they have any in the back and they throw it back on the shelf, that's where you might actually find some of this stuff. But once it's cleared out of the store, there probably won't be another shipment of this. Hey, I might be wrong, but very few stores actually had feminine care as part of the remodel or refresh. It was a unicorn item to find. It was very rare. And there are probably other people on social media that dedicate a lot more time to remodels. So definitely look for them on YouTube. There's a lot of ladies that do it. My best friend and I, she's a little bit more on top of this, and she's not even on social media. So it makes it a little easier to go shopping with somebody who just knows everything. But we kind of were, here's your homework, here's my homework. And we were like dividing up different stores and then shopping together, which was a lot of fun. And we would go to these stores like 2-3 o'clock on a Sunday because I'm at Walgreens first thing. So I can't really run out first thing. So even going later in the day or even on Monday, we were finding a ton of stuff, including a ton of the party stuff. And for little baskets that you make as couponers, or, just even for Christmas, you can repurpose a lot of this stuff. Put a little thing of holly, that would look great. This is a weird one, this bag. It was only one store that ever it pennied out at, and it was kind of like a weird item to find, but we got a couple of those. This specific company, Baked with Love, at most of the stores, whatever was left pennied out on this specific line. So really keep your eyes peeled for that. Again, it's not every store. It's only specific stores that are going through this remodel, or they call them refreshes here. This entire table, it was all like pennies. That was like my Price is Right moment to get such quality stuff. I have a sister-in-law who has a baking business, so I'm going to be giving her a lot of this stuff. She's going to be so excited. And like, it's not all like, oh, this is all garbage. Like, look, it's like a baking mat for delicious cookies and just like nice stuff, like these clear cookie bags. So that dough that I just hauled, I can make cookies for everybody. Make them look all nice. These folding cookie boxes. I mean, just like cute things, and I think it's just absolutely adorable. This Baked with Love line, very, very nice. And we left a great deal of it, or other shoppers, if they were looking around, we would just give them stuff, which was kind of neat. There was a lady who was having a party for her kid, and I just stocked her up with some stuff, and she's like, oh my gosh, are you sure that's going to be a penny? I'm like, yep. And then other little things like these cups, and one of the final items I'm going to show you is this flour sack. One store has them at 70, and I know a lot of shoppers have been picking them up. I would love to find them for a penny. That might be a tall order to find these. And the problem with that is I don't want to pay 60 cents for this. I want it for a penny. So I'll have to wait and see how the math shakes out. And whenever this remodel happens, it'll either be on the Sunday or Thursday. But I love paying a penny for this stuff. I don't want to pay 70. So it's like a waiting game with the app. And then often stores, whatever they have in the back, and this is just a feminine care example. The one store that had the feminine care, they brought more stuff out midweek. And then I went in the store and I'm like, those are all pennies. Grab them all. I paid 8 cents for this gorgeous basket. So definitely watch the video linked right here, how to find a remodel. And then if you were curious about remodels, lots of UPCs and info in this video. I hope it helps, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.